thought it would be fun to make a video today about ghost stories. Many people around the world seem to have shared interests in ghost stories, whether they believe them or not. It seems like a good majority of people have stories to tell, whether it's their own or someone else's. I have some of my own. I have some from my father's childhood. I've got stories galore, but I'm just going to give a few examples today. And if you liked hearing my stories and you want me to tell some more, then just comment below. And by all means, if you have any ghost stories of your own, share them in the comments, because I love a good ghost story, and I'm sure a lot of people out there watching YouTube like good ghost stories too. So I'd love to see the comments fill up with just everyone's stories. That would be so much fun. So let me get started on some of these stories. So one day, several years ago, I was standing here at my stove cooking something. This hallway, that's my son's room right there. And directly behind me is the refrigerator. So I'm standing here cooking. My son's not home, no one's here but me. And all of a sudden, a small round ball comes rolling out of my son's room. And I'm stand here and I just turn and I watch it roll to under the fridge. It bounces off the fridge and rolls kind of over there. I just looked at it like, oh, okay. And then I turned and went back to my cooking, because like, whatever. And around that time, my husband had seen a little boy ghost. He saw him crawl either out of one bedroom into my son's room, or like out of my son's room into the dining room or something like that. So I just figured whatever that ball was, maybe it was this little boy ghost I've never seen. My husband has seen him, but I haven't. And other times I've been in my son's room or in this room, and I have heard toys going off in his room, both when he wasn't in there and when he was sound asleep at night. Now that one, you know, you can say, oh, the toy box is full, and maybe for whatever reason something shifted and it just made one of his light and sound toys go off. But I don't know, it's happened several times, so maybe ghost, maybe not ghost. My mother-in-law sits here in this spot, and you can see the sink, fridge, and right in that nook is the door to go to the outside staircase, because we live upstairs. Twice she said she was sitting in that spot and she saw her unalive husband standing in the doorway, and he was standing there and peeked around the fridge and then poked back behind there again and disappeared. And ironically, his ashes are still in our possession right now. So who knows? Maybe she really did see him. Maybe she's just missing him. I don't know. You be the judge. What else has happened in this house? Oh, another time, as you see right now, is on high, our ceiling fan. And normally the chains stay still. They don't hardly move at all. There for a while, when I was working really hard on my third great grandfather's genealogy, and I was trying to find out who his parents are and just find out a whole bunch of missing pieces to his puzzle. That was around the time I started seeing these chains go crazy. Maybe it could have been him, maybe it was something else. I don't see how any wind could have been blowing through. Our windows weren't open. As you see, the ceiling fan's on high. These aren't barely moving. But at that time, for like a week or 2 weeks, these chains would both be going. They'd either be going like this, really doing something crazy sporadic like this, or sometimes one of them would be circling. I can't reenact it. I did have a video a long time ago I recorded of them doing their crazy stuff, but I think I deleted it. But yeah, they would be going way kind of like this far, or they'd be kind of spinning really big circles like this. So I don't know. Ghost, nothing, draft, I don't know. You be the judge. Before moving into this apartment, we lived in a tiny little apartment above a grocery store, and I found out after living there a while that a man had passed. Trying to choose my words carefully here. A man had passed while living there. That the rumor was he was drunk and he fell down the stairs. Anyway, he was supposed to have passed on the stairs, I guess. I don't know. All I know is the apartment was more like a lawyer's office or some kind of business office with a tiny little nook for a kitchen and a tiny little bathroom that had a toilet and a stand-up shower only. It didn't give a vibe of an actual apartment. And it, like I said, it was over a grocery store. So, let me do a drawing. All right, to the best of my recollection, this was the door downstairs you entered. You go up this flight of stairs upstairs. And then there's this long hallway. To the right was a door you could open, and it was a huge room, like the size of a public gym where you go to lift weights and stuff. And to the left was a door which went directly into our bedroom, and it could lock. And you go a little forward, and there was a door that you'd enter to get, I think this is off a little bit, or the drawing's wonky. You'd enter a door to get the rest of the way through the hallway, because the door was right smack in the middle of this hallway. So you get to the other side of the hallway, and to the right was a really small, cramped, dark kitchen, really dark. There was a kitchen sink here with no windows anywhere in this kitchen. It was just dark corner of the apartment. Directly across from the kitchen was this giant living space, and then in this tiny little room here there was a bathroom with a stand-up shower right there and a toilet and a sink. So as you see, you can lock the door down here, but if you don't lock it, anybody off the street can just come up the stairs, come all the way around, and be right outside your bedroom. And if this door was so flimsy, it just felt like you could break through it really easy, and they could easily get through right to your kitchen and your rest of your apartment. But anyway, so we had a lock here. This bedroom we kept locked, and the kitchen door we kept locked. And so often you would hear footsteps out here in this hallway. You'd be in this bedroom and you would hear footsteps out here, and you'd look under the crack of the door and you'd see a shadow go by underneath the door. And my husband says that he came out of the shower one day back here, and our son was just a itty-bitty infant at the time. And he says he came out and he saw who he thought was me standing, I think, here in this corner with my hair down, my head down and my hair in my face, looking, I don't know, either sad or like I was trying to prank him and scare him. And he walked out and he's like, I see you, you're not scaring me or something. And came into our room, and I was in here laying on the floor with our son. So he got goosebumps all over because he's like, who the hell was that in there? And I'd have to go to work, and he'd still be there in the evening by himself. And so he would keep the bedroom door, the hole runs right along it. He'd keep that bedroom door locked, and the other door that went into the living room, there was a door there you could shut and lock too. So he would lock himself in that one bedroom because he'd hear footsteps and he'd see shadows and just all kinds of crazy crap. That apartment was creepy. But nothing, bad. We didn't feel threatened or hurt, or nobody tried to strangle us or suffocate us or nothing, but it was very unnerving. I did not like going in that kitchen. That my kids did not like going in that kitchen. My kids did not like that apartment at all. My older kids. I have 2 older kids that are now adults. Oh yeah, and in our bedroom, remember, so there's a stairwell, the hallway, and our room, and it had a door here that could lock and a door here that could lock, isolate you in there. So in this room, I had a closet door next to the one that went into the hallway. There was a closet there. I had a nightgown hanging on a hook like this. And one night, my husband and I were laying there watching movie on his laptop or something, and I noticed that the nightgown, part of it was like a silky nightgown. Somebody invisible took part of it, pinched it, and went like this, like almost 90 degrees, gently, and then just let it drop. I turned to my husband, I'm like, am I crazy, or did you just see that? He's like, I saw that. I said, okay. Didn't see any apparition or ghost, but we saw that. So yeah, that's the ones I can think of offhand in these last 2 places. I have never seen a ghost with my eyes. I have an aunt who has seen ghosts. I have a father who's got tons of ghost stories from his childhood through adulthood. He's got one that's really freaky. My mom, she's got some ghost stories from her childhood. I mean, there's some stuff in her adulthood that she joked it was a ghost, but I don't know if she really believed it. But childhood, she has some vivid memories of seeing some. So it's like everybody connected to me has some kind of ghost stories, and they've actually seen ghosts with their eyes. I'm the only one. I haven't seen them with my eyes. I've seen things move. I've heard things. I've watched things, roll. I've heard and watched toys go off, but I've never seen a ghost, thankfully, because maybe they know it'll freak me out and they're being nice, or I don't know. I know not everybody believes in ghosts, and maybe it's not a ghost per se, it's just leftover energy, like an imprint, whatever it is. We got stories for days up in my family. The one that my dad remembers most vividly, he was young and he had this bedroom, and his mom would tuck him in at night, and he could look out the door into, I don't know if it was like a hallway area or living room, whatever it was, but I guess they had a pet bird, and he could see out the door, and he could see the cage with the bird in it. And he would see every night at the same time, like clockwork, he would see the same old man in a plaid shirt, I believe, and bib overalls. That would, I guess he would just manifest there or something. He would just appear there in front of the bird cage. And the bird would see him too. He would go like this to the bird cage, and the bird would come over slowly and let him, and like communicate with him, let him do this to him. And then he'd look over at my dad and smile, and then he'd start to, according to Dad, float towards Dad's bedroom door. No matter how friendly he seemed, Dad was tripping. Every time it happened, Dad was freaked out. But he would get as far as the doorway of Dad's room, and then he would dissipate or whatever. He would disappear. Then there was one where they had this closet in one house. Him and his brother shared a room, and there was a closet which had no stairs in it. But apparently, at some point in time when the house was built, it must have had stairs. That must have been a doorway to the stairs that went down into the basement or something. And every night at the exact same time, they would hear footsteps coming up these stairs and would get to the door of the closet, pause, and then the door would fly open. And there'd be nothing there, no scary looking ghost or nothing, but them two boys would about crap themselves. And he said, we'd tell our mom, we'd yell and scream and run for her, and she'd be like, oh, it's nothing, you're just being silly. So they started having fun with it. They'd booby trap the door. They put, jerry rig it with spoons and forks and all kinds of stuff, and every night the thing would walk up the invisible stairs, get to the top of the closet door. The door would pop open, whatever they stuck on it trying to block it or whatever would go flying across the room. All the silverware would go flying across the room. And yeah, believe it, don't believe it, I don't know. That concludes my ghost stories for today. Feel free to share any stories that you have below in the comments. I promise I'll read every one of them.